Audi's larger executive car turns electric and natively rear drive, but retains other Audi-typical traits. Whatever other decisions may yet be made in the busy corridors of power at Audi's Ingolstadt headquarters, we know one thing for sure. This is the new, all-electric Audi A6 E-tron, and it's just touched down in the UK, in right-hand drive form. Soon enough, however, another new Audi A6 will be unveiled that you can have with a combustion engine if you prefer. That will, no doubt, leave some a little confused. The latter car was all set to be a new A7, but the idea, as Audi originally planned, that A6 devotees might willingly switch to an A5 or A7 in order to avoid inadvertent electrification, and that even numbered Audis would, for the sake of simplicity, henceforth be electric, has proven too much for the company's customer base and dealer network to accept. So, rather than adjusting the entire model nomenclature strategy to make room for a growing number of EVs which European buyers remain stubbornly slow to warm up to, Audi's had a rethink, a sensible one, it seems to me. Right now, lots of people instinctively know what an Audi A6 is. Likewise an A4, AQ2, etc. That's money in the bank that, frankly, Audi can ill afford to lose. Design and styling. This new A6 E-tron, however, doesn't look much like an A6. It looks, to me, like a car that could have had several proposed identities during the course of its gestation. And I wouldn't be surprised to learn that Audi Axolotl was one of the more left-field ones. There's a certain similarity with the platform-related Q6 E-tron, but also a slightly strange, pumped-up, lizard-featured look to it, which I'm not sure that Audi's long-standing, design-loving clientele will instantly appreciate. At any rate, at least it isn't evolutionary. This car joins the ranks of the BMW i5, Mercedes EQE, and perhaps even the Porsche Taycan, then, in the pursuit of the well-heeled executive's company car dollar. Available as either 5-door Sportback or Avant Estate, it can be had with one motor or two, with either 75.80 or 94.9 kilowatt-hours of usable battery capacity. And from a UK market departure price of £60 to £1,500. Uncharacteristically, Audi has made the single-motor versions rear-wheel drive, but the same is true of last year's new Q6 e-tron SUV, and will continue to be so of other Audi EVs built on the same PPE platform, so we'll doubtless get used to that idea. Suspension will be via steel coil springs and multi-link axles on all UK market A6 South, with adaptively damped air springs, reserved for the range-topping S6 e-tron, which will also offer close to 550 horsepower, and a sub-4, 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint. Through the lower tiers of the model range, you can have 322, 376 or for 5.6 bhp, lastly in the twin-motor A6 e-tron Quattro version. But ours was a mid-level 3.7 6bhp A6 Avant e-tron performance. Interior. Audi's designers have somehow made this look like quite a low, ground-hugging car from the curbside. So, when you get into it and feel as high-perched as you do, it's something of a shock. Audi has never traded in particularly low, sporty driving positions, to be fair, and the A6's seat itself is widely adjustable and supportive, and comfy over distance. You just don't feel like you can put it quite where you'd like to, relative to the beltline of the car, the nearness of the panoramic glass roof, or the primary controls in front of you. Audi's latest cabin design and digital technology philosophy relies a great deal on a 14.5 inches central multimedia touchscreen that has no separate cursor controller, so it demands plenty of your attention while driving. There are no physical heating and ventilation controls, though there are a few useful physical buttons for Audis systems management and drive modes. And that touchscreen does have a permanently displayed shortcut zone as a usability aid. Cabin quality is good enough, albeit not at the lofty level, relative to the executive class norm, that we've known of big Audis more traditionally. And some of the car's technological features, camera-based door mirrors that don't grant a sufficiently adjustable field of vision, and a head-up display that likes to blind you with red light if you get an arbitrary centimeter too close to the car in front, seem a bit gratuitous and self-serving. There's reasonable leg and headroom in the rear seats, unless you're very long-legged, that is, when you may find your knees bent up due to a fairly high floor. Still, Kids are well catered for, with 3 sets of Isofix seat anchorages, 2 in the back and 1 in the front passenger seat, and some usefully practical plastic backings to the front seats that will wipe clean of the inevitable shoe scuffs. There's also a compact front, which is good, because space isn't as ample in the boot as you might expect. The 502-liter luggage space in the Avant is actually the same as the Sportback's, which is a bit disappointing. The floor is deep and wide, and you will get your double buggy or duo of Labradors in there. Plus, there's some underfloor storage space. But the sloping rear window line eats into overall boot capacity. The i5 Touring 570 liters, ID7 Touring 605 liters, and Mach-On Electric 540 liters all offer more outright cargo space. Engines and performance. On UK roads, the A6 E-tron has some familiar Audi dynamic traits, despite its decidedly un-Audi mechanical layout. Good low-speed ride isolation even in 21-inch wheels, lightish and filtered-feeling steering, and fine high-speed stability. Performance is strong and accessible, with easy paddle-based control over brake energy regeneration. That it doesn't feel like much of a driver's car is unlikely to surprise very many people, but it is exactly what you want from a big Audi estate. There's a cohesiveness to it that soothes and impresses, and the refinement is strong.